I began this project by thinking about the social, political, and cultural value of an artist, and in my case, a female artist. I was driven to this reflection by general comments about declining interests in arts and humanities, and a sort of common derision about choosing to express my passion rather than to pursue the potential economic success associated with living in the age of information technology. Neither was I choosing to pursue a STEM career, another credible undertaking in today's world. After doing a bit of research, I found my challenges may have been even more confrontational than I had expected. While I found comfort in the number of women who earned degrees in the arts, I was stunned at the disparity in measurable outcomes. Women are disproportionately represented in art museums, as disclosed in a recent survey that found permanent collections of 18 prominent U.S. art museums. Represented artists are 87% male and 85% white. Equally disturbing is that there are no women in the top 0.03% of the auction market, where 41% of the profit is concentrated. Overall, 96% of artworks sold at auction are by male artists. These statistics are a clear reflection of the traditional patriarchal values entrenched in the American social order. In order to achieve a more personal understanding of how the world values female arts, I set up my easel on the street in front of my own 109-piece solo art exhibit documenting how we made connections during the pandemic. The risks and challenges that came with my street painting exhibition parallel those of producing art in the larger social construct. Vulnerability, artistic criticism, and general performance feedback. It was a strange vulnerability that settled over me. Not like a heavy fog that might have hidden me from prying eyes, but rather like a permeable bubble that locked me in a place while the world judged my art, my talent, me. People passed on the street, speaking often in hushed tones about not only what I was doing and why I was doing it, but also how I was doing it. Whether the criticism was real or not, just or unjust, I was exposed. I had openly declared my intention of making art, of wanting to make art, of believing I was capable of making art and contributing to the art world. I realized I must find a way to conjure the confidence of the average heterosexual white man if I were to emerge unscathed from this endeavor. I put on my mental armor and continued to paint. Interestingly, the rather painful and, might I say, patronizing feedback came in the form of men who offered unsolicited advice about how to manage my business. I hadn't expected this, but I suppose I should have, given that business is also largely still dominated by men. I am certain these men felt both helpful and justified in offering me advice about where to print, where to buy frames, and where to buy mats instead of cutting them myself. I wondered about the shortcomings they had found in the 100+ photos I had printed, matted, and framed myself that had prompted this advice. I wondered why they couldn't see my commitment not only to my art, but also to my professional presentation. Audience reactions to my painting of a young girl who was a subject in the photography art show that hung behind me were overwhelmingly positive. People loitered around me, commenting at times to one another or to me. I felt an inspiring connection to both my community and to my art, one that reflected that which I had striven to create via my photography series. Particularly memorable was a young man so taken by my image that he stopped to share my painting with his partner via FaceTime. Eventually, my confidence must have grown because I found myself deeply engaged with the art, almost oblivious to the sounds and movement around me. This comfort reflected my growth. I had made myself vulnerable, and that decision paid off in a new level of confidence in both myself and my art. I'm looking forward to repeating this exhibition in spite of my ongoing expectations of various offerings of gratuitous advice. Perhaps, with my new confidence, I will receive a nugget that will catalyze my work. The public demonstration, while a bit uncomfortable, intensified my excitement to create art in all its forms. Many of the positive comments and warm connections came from men, who I was reminded have much more agency than women. They feel comfortable sharing their opinions, good or bad. Men seem to embrace their thoughts and ideas as worthy. I wonder if this comes from years of solicitation and support for their opinions. I wonder if women will overcome the kind of internalized depression that keeps them from having the same confidence. Of course, there is equal value in this narrative about my experience of painting in public as there is in my painting. This artistic endeavor helps explain both the social limitations and the cultural expectations women face, not in being permitted to explore art, but in finding both the confidence and the support to be taken as seriously as the men who dominate the fields.